So, Dina, I have to bring California into this because I am soon headed that way. We'll be
Mhm.
spending more time there. California is always, the saying has always been, as goes California, so goes the nation, right? It's usually
Yeah.
the trendsetter, whether it's economics, government, culture, etc. California seems to be in trouble. No matter what your politics are, hundreds of thousands of people have left. The population perhaps has dropped
Yeah.
for the first time in recent
Yeah.
history. What's going on in California? That's probably the number one question I get as a journalist, by the way. What's up with California? And what can we do
Housing.
about it?
Housing. That's the number one issue. That is the number one issue on so many levels. If you're really wealthy, you're doing okay, of course. If your middle class, is getting harder and harder to be in affordable housing that is anywhere near you being able to reasonably commute to your work, right? If you're on the edge financially, your chances of becoming homeless increase. The homelessness issue is growing, right? And there's not that much that's being done to really address it in a systemic way. So the housing is, I think, the biggest issue. I did a report on this a couple of years ago when I was hosting In Focus at Spectrum News One here in Los Angeles. And it is one of the driving forces for why people are leaving the state. It's just too expensive to have a roof over your head. And there isn't enough of it. There isn't enough affordable housing. And when new housing is being built and being zoned for by a city or by the county, 25% of it is affordable housing, and then the rest is luxury units. So that makes it even harder. So that's I think the biggest reason. And is the rest of the country going to go in that direction? I sure hope not, but that's what's happening here.
Well, single family home zoning was invented famously in Berkeley, California. And it's
Yeah.
actually one of the weirdest policies to come out of the left wing, in my opinion, because, uh, pro people policies, you would think you would be for affordable housing, right? But if you create such strict zoning laws, you make the housing stock shrink and you make prices go to the moon. I am shocked by the housing prices in California, and
Yeah.
it
They
seems
are
like
shocking.
the only way the only way out of it is deregulation, getting rid of all these zoning policies. Why don't we see the government doing something like that? Because this appears to be a largely manufactured problem with all these regulations at the local level.
Right, but then you also, so this is a massive debate, both at the state level and at the local level. And people who already own their homes don't want to get rid of that because this is an asset. This is, their family wealth is built around the single family home that they have. And so who wants to get rid of that and have, aspects of the neighborhood, the prices come down, and then the value of their single family home comes down. On the other side, of course, people need to be housed and they need to be able to afford to live there and to live within a decent proximity of their job. The most people do not take public transportation. It doesn't go to the places that they need to go. And so one of the plans that is being pushed hard on the left side is to build these communities around public transportation. Again, those buildings are majority luxury apartment buildings and luxury condos. So nobody who is going to be able to afford that is going to give up their BMW or their Mercedes to be able to take public transportation somewhere. They're going to drive their car. That's part of the culture here too. So does there need to be deregulation on those issues? Yeah, I think that that is something that those who are supportive of affordable housing are looking to do. And I don't think the deregulation aspect of it is a right or left issue. I think it's how are we going to get more affordable housing, and the the zoning restrictions are an obstacle to that, absolutely. And that is what's being debated again at the state level and at the local level. And I haven't seen much traction go in either direction. I think this is going to continue to be a debate because both sides are entrenched.